what if you aren't compensating for what he can't do, and you're compensating because the version of you that's needed is a little bit easier to inhabit than the version of you that's equal? I'll bet that this began whenever you realized that taking over his responsibilities kind of gave you a sense of control over a situation that was probably fundamentally unstable. He failed at something, and then you jumped into the middle of it and kind of took over or fixed it. And then you interpret that successful management as the best way to keep the relationship from collapsing, and then from there you kind of decide that being the competent anchor was the only way to really be safe, because if you stopped holding everything together, then the entire relationship is just going to float off into the sunset. Well, that interpretation is what allows the dynamic to kind of harden into a dysfunctional and unsustainable hierarchy where you're just his administrator. There's a psychological payoff here that kind of encourages over-functioning as a protective choice that sort of shields you from the vulnerability of an actual peer. Being indispensable is a legible, defined role that prevents one from facing the terrifying possibility of being matched, because a partner who actually showed up as an equal would remove the very function around which a person's identity is organized. It is using the labor of competence to avoid the exposure of one's own needs. This shift kind of moves a person into the category of a project manager, where value is tied to the utility that they provide rather than personhood. It's a misidentification of exhaustion as a sort of virtue. Take a step back and notice that he isn't really just failing to contribute. He's kind of occupying the space that you've cleared for him so that you never really have to be seen. Stop being the solution to his passivity and start noticing the void that your management is filling. I don't want you to wonder if he can handle his half of the relationship without you. You need to be trying to figure out who you would be if you stopped making yourself the only one who can carry the entire thing.